Hi, my name is Melissa Santarpio. I am a sixth grade math and science teacher. I teach at the Richardson Middle School in Draken, Massachusetts. I think it's really important for students to have a place to be able to write their ideas down, like the binder or the notebook, because it's a space for them to do their figuring out, and it's a space for them to use as a reference when they are, working on assessments or trying to piece together their ideas or working with other people and sharing their ideas, because it's like a timeline of all of their thoughts and all of their ideas throughout the entire lesson that they're building on as they go. So being able to have something that they can go back to and reference is going to be helpful for them. It's also a place too where I'm able to provide them feedback. So when they get feedback from me, it's somewhere that they can then reference it later on when they're taking a transfer task and they have to cite evidence and they want to look back at something which they needed to cite evidence for, and I provided them feedback. They can revisit that so that when they're taking their transfer task, they're able to see, oh yeah, I need to make sure that I need to do this because my evidence needs to include more of these details that I didn't include on the assignment that I got feedback for. The reason why I changed from a notebook to a binder was because I found that putting and gluing and arranging things in the notebook became more tedious and time consuming, and I felt that if we had a binder, they would just be able to clip it in, take it out when they need to, put it back in, and add loose leaf paper if they need to. So it created a system that was a little bit more a little less time consuming for the rest. So first I suggested that my students have a 1-inch binder to fit one unit at a time. If they have these wonderful little pockets here, they can put their science norms and other artifacts that carry throughout the entire year. And as you open up, you can see they have the structure for the table of contents, but they fill it in themselves as they go. And again, you can see the progress tracker A through D on here. And when they need more table of contents, they just grab them because we have them accessible to them in the classroom. Sometimes this will happen. You have those little lovely little stickies that you can put on here to kind of keep them in. Here's a progress tracker. It's similar to the ones that you experience throughout the unit. It provides the space for them to draw and write the things that they need to put in. So I have them, and I letter them, like I said here, solely because if I'm like, oh, we need another progress tracker, we can just add it as a letter rather than disrupting the page. So as we go, they have a space down here where they put the page number. This is the sheets that are given to us from OpenSciEd. I just kind of took the footer out and added the lesson number and the page number. And notice and wonder, as you can see, I leave them open at the bottom to give them space to write what they need to write. And they just fill it in as they go. And again, this is an OpenSciEd sheet, and that's how that works. This is just an organized case site example for plate tectonics, but they're all just the same sheets that you would normally get. Sometimes you'll notice there's a few sheets in here that I made based off of the slides. So when I make sheets like this, make a claim, this is a slide, and I only put what's on the slide like it is on the slide with space for students to write what they need to write without adding anything extra, as a way to just kind of try to maintain the integrity of the program. There's another sheet where they had to do a predictive model. Like this is another example where they had to make a prediction and then they use this predictive model and they have to go back to it a bunch of times. But again, this is exactly what it said on the slide, and there's space provided for them to do what they need to do on it. It's very important to me when creating these not to over scaffold them with extra directions or information, because that's not behind the whole philosophy of this program. A lot of the conversations and discussions you have is that information, and it's the students' sense making that they're doing. So if I put that sense making on this paper when I'm creating something in their notebook or their binder, it's taking that opportunity for them to do the figuring out. So that's why I try to keep it as strict to what they would already see when they're looking at the slides for OpenSciEd. I just think it's important when you do this that you create space for them to do what they need to do, but not expect them to fill the whole space, or if they want to fill the space, creating that autonomy for them to put the information down that they feel comfortable with, and setting some expectations for that are important. but and leaving space for them to do it and not giving them too much information. It's an opportunity for them to own their work more and to understand that what they're doing is not just like an exercise for somebody else, but it's actually a way for them to capture their ideas and a way for them to then reference them, to improve on them, to add to them, to change them, to cite evidence for them. And it brings an ownership to their learning that they probably haven't experienced before. Words of advice for somebody just starting out with OpenSciEd is whatever you choose to do, your notebook or your binder, make one for yourself. Make sure that you're kind of creating this so that you have something to look back on, to change and adjust throughout the years as you continue through this process of learning and growing with this program. I think that you need to be patient with yourself, with the process, with your students, and know that it's not going to be perfect, especially the first time. But as you evolve and each year goes by, it's just going to become more important and more a connection for the students to their learning.